I grew up on a farm and a ranch in North Dakota, and as a kid, we had 30 brood mares, two studs, and horses have been my passion for years and years and years. And one point in time in my life, I thought I want to be a construction worker, and that lasted about 3 months. And I decided, no, let's go back to the horses. And I trained and showed for a long time, trained a lot of horses, sold horses. And a friend of mine years ago, he met, I was living in California at the time, and he hooked up with a fellow by the name of Jimmy Ferguson. And Scott Sillin was my buddy that I kind of grew up with in North Dakota. That's where I grew up. And so Jimmy was just now getting introduced to the equine dentistry from Dale Jeffries. And Dale Jeffries at that time was running his school over there in Nebraska. And that's kind of how things got started. And I couldn't believe, I thought, well, what do you need equine dentistry for? That my horses aren't old. I ride a bunch of young ones, and I had a lot of different bits and all kinds of tie downs and tie their head around, do all kinds of stuff, and wonder why every day we'd have to do that, and wonder why the horses were stupid. And they, of course, back then everybody's like, well, the mother was that way, the dad was that way, but I'll try to get this quick. Come to find out, when Jimmy and Scott showed me what was going on in horses' mouths and told me that young horses shed 24 teeth between 2.5 and 4.5, which is the most important time of their life through their training session. I had no idea that was even an issue. And when the caps get loose and how sharp those babies' teeth get, and we're trying to put bridles and bits in there and train them. And uh, there'd be some horses coming like 2-year-olds, and then coming 2.5, they start shedding their first molar caps. Well, the bit would bang against them when they got loose, and it takes about a month for those teeth to come off on their own. Everybody says, well, they'll come off on their own. Well, okay, if they're in the wild and not being ridden, maybe that's okay, and they're getting used a lot. But you put a bridle in there and you pull on them, and then the bit hits these lower teeth that are sticking up here, and those caps are loose. They'll stick their head in there, try to run off, flip over, and wonder why was all that happening? And um, after a while, the cap would fall off, and you think, oh, pretty good trainer. I got him trained. Now he turns to the right, but there was about the tooth.